Up. Day 14 of month 10. This is my 55-gallon display tank with a bridged 34-gallon refugium. My last video was 6 weeks ago, and in that I had high iodate readings off the chart. Initially 100 times more than they should be, then I got them down to about 30 times. I think they may be still 10 times too high. I think my zoas may be suffering. Well, they certainly were suffering because of that, I think. But now I have a different issue. Finally, it's been 3 months since I added a refugium, and my phosphates have come down very close to zero. In the last 5 days. 5 days ago I had a reading of 0.018, and then I've just taken a reading today, and I do a number of readings using the ULR phosphorus, and I got about 4 zeros, and I also got a 0.009 and a 0.015. So I don't know whether my phosphates are now too low. I've always had low nitrates, so my nitrates with Salifert were always about 0.2 or 0.5, something like that. Then I purchased this Red Sea colour comparator, and which is meant to give you more accurate readings, or you're able to compare the colours easier. And I'm getting about 0.37 with that. But what worries me is that my phosphates have gone down so much, therefore are my nitrates really low. The reason I say that is because my SPS, or some of my SPS corals, are losing a bit of colour. In particular, my Hystrix. One of the frags has gone a little light in colour, although my main Hystrix tree is actually fine. So I don't know whether, I'm not sure whether it's to do with phosphates. In fact, here is the Hystrix tree with yellow clown goby, who likes to reside. There's some great protection for it from predators. Not that there are any predators here, but the yellow clown goby loves to go in that Hystrix tree. As you can see, the coloration is not too bad. The polyp extension's not great. I think the light might be a little bit too bright for this. It could be one of those Punapi Hystrix, or Punapi bird's nest, whatever you want to call it. I don't know whether some bird nests can deal with high light. I think this one probably likes lower light. I'd love to know what this thing is. I think it might be a coral. It used to be surrounded with zoas and intermingled is this sort of, don't know, is it a coral? It's got polyps, and they do retract when you blow the baster at it, water at it. They do retract, leaving a sort of fluorescent green shell to it. So I don't know what it is. To get my phosphates up a bit, I've turned off my skimmer as of today, and I'm chucking in a little bit more food than normal. See if I can get my phosphates and nitrates back up a tiny, well, see how it reacts anyway, whether the refugium deals with it. But yeah, that could be why some of my SPS are losing coloration. This next SPS is called a staghorn, I think. It's just about to come up, and it was all green, so you've got the left green bit there. It actually had red polyps with a green skin, and those red polyps have gone. They're now green polyps in that part, but in this middle mass, it's turning some really weird funky colours like blue, and they glow in the ultraviolet, and there's a bit of hints of green, although under white light it does look a little bit white, but as you can see, I've tried to film it with different colours. It's all those individual sort of tusks are all forming their own, don't know what you call it, outgrowth. So I'm quite excited by that. It's behaving itself anyway, it's not died, so I'm glad about that. As I said, I've got low levels of phosphates, and I'm pleased to say that I'm not using either an aluminium based phosphate absorber or GFO. In the past I've used Phosgard. I did try and use it about 2 weeks ago, and it didn't do a thing, so I just pulled it out. I just thought, oh sod it, I'm not using that. I'll just see if the Refugium, and eventually, like I say, 3 months it's taken the Refugium to get my levels down. I mean, I've been constantly feeding heavily my fish. I've never underfed, and yeah, so I'm quite happy, sort of, that I finally got my phosphates down. Yeah, I just need some control now. I need to get them back up but keep them stable, and that is new territory for me. This is another example of an SPS. I think it's a tricolour Acropora, and it was a deeper red, and you can see again these outgrowths, these new outgrowths are a much lighter pink. I have actually put it higher up again. It's much higher up, so it's obviously getting a lot more light, and so you can still see some of the dark red, but then you can see some of the growths are a lighter pink. I've also got that light pink encrusting as well. Yeah, this is an original digitata, what's it called, Montipora, branching Montipora. And actually I was looking at this tonight under the blues. God, it's really nice colour to it. Here's some Zoas, and these were actually shot 2 weeks ago. I was going to release a video, and they're a bit worse now actually. And this is a Spongades. It's actually recovering. I let the water level drop when I was doing a water change, and boy, it suffered, almost died on me, but it's actually coming back, and actually it's getting better coloration as well. I want to talk a little bit about salinity. I don't know whether any of you guys, you know, you're doing this for months and months and months, and then suddenly you think, you know what, I don't actually know whether I'm doing this right. And that is why I'm mentioning salinity. I've got a Red Sea refractometer, and that is calibrated for 25 degrees C, and I think it's got something called an ATM, is it? Auto temperature. It's got like a little metal strip in, apparently, inside the refractometer, so if the temperature fluctuates a little bit, the metal strip contracts or expands and compensates for that slight temperature change. So I think it says in the Red Sea bump that it's fine at 23 degrees C. So this metal strip must, I don't know, retract at 23 degrees and adjust the measurement. Anyway, my room temperature is about 21, and I was looking at my salinity and thinking, what the hell is going on here? And sometimes it's at 22 degrees, sometimes it's at 23 degrees. So I then realized, oh my, and my salinity is actually not particularly fluctuating. It's just the room temperature that's affecting the salinity reading. Now I don't know what the other refractometers are like, because they are calibrated at 20 degrees C, and I don't know whether they have this correction metal strip inside either. So what I've done which I'm quite chuffed, I think it works quite well, is I actually have switched salts as well. I've switched from Tropic Marin Pro salt to the Red Sea normal salt, and I measured out 40 grams per 1 litre, and that is supposed to give your 10264 SG specific gravity reading, and I'm sort of using that as my calibration fluid. You can buy these calibration fluids, can't you? But I've decided to just weigh out the sea salt. I'm probably not a good idea, but what is good is, I make this calibration salt myself, and as long as I keep that in a bottle, that will remain at a certain salinity. So when my room fluctuates in temperature, I can still calibrate my refractometer using this measured Red Sea sort of calibration fluid that I've made myself. So I thought that was quite cool. Maybe a bad idea, but yeah, there you go. Livestock seem to be fine. This is the chalk goby. He's still a little bit thin. I seem to fatten him up last time. I've not concentrated on him as much. I think, looking at this video actually, I think I need to concentrate and maybe feed 4 times a day. I think I feed twice a day I feed 3 times a day actually, but this is my gold neon Eviota goby, which went missing for a couple of days. You know what it's like, your fish goes missing, you think you never see them, and then they suddenly just turn up. My yellow tang is great. He pushes people around a little bit. The Bangai takes no nonsense from the tang. But yeah, all the livestock are good. These green star polyps are doing really well, and as you probably saw before, the pulsing xenia. I'm really chuffed with the pulsing xenia actually. They're really thriving even with this low nitrate phosphate levels. There's obviously enough for them. You can see the Montipora there, that plating Montipora. I think that's not, the coloration's not as great with that. This is the Refugium. I think these are eggs. I don't know whether they're eggs, but they're weird, whatever they are, and they've got these weird strands. Have you seen these strands as well? What the hell are these strands? Some sort of weird algae, never seen it before. And you've got these I get it the wrong way around. Are they copepods or amphipods? I always get it wrong. I think they're amphipods actually. Yeah, the Refugium's great. The Chaetomorpha, I've got loads of Chaetomorpha in there. I need to take some out actually. That would also probably help raise my phosphates and nitrates a bit, decrease the mass of Chaetomorpha. But yeah, I love my Refugium. That really has worked well. The fact I don't have to use any Phosguard. I hate that Phosguard now. Can't be doing with it. And maybe I don't need to use a skimmer. We'll find out. As I say, I've just turned it off today, but the Refugium is good, and the bridge works really well. Only one thing about the bridge that is bad is you can't use an auto top off. Well, I'll explain about that some other time. So I actually dose RO water, which sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I dose water and Kalkwasser, and I actually calculate how much I'm dosing each day so I can keep an eye on my salinity. But as I say, I've had salinity issues as well because I'm not sure I knew how to use the fractometer. Those were some frags. Yeah, I panicked actually. I actually filmed a lot of this 2 weeks ago, and I panicked because I don't know whether you can see, but I think, can you see it? Is it on this? But I was filming my Nemos, and I could see loads of what looked like ick, and I absolutely bricked myself. Thought, oh my goodness, my finally ick has caught up, and in fact what it was just some dust. But for about 2 hours I was thinking, oh no, my fish are going to die. I think it might be the Miracle Mud. That Miracle Mud has got some fine dust to it, and I actually think it's come through from the refugium, and this dust has coated a lot of the rock. I've seen it in other people's videos with this Miracle Mud. This dust gets around, and as I say, these Nemos were covered in this dust. And anyway, 2 hours later there was no ick on them at all, so obviously the panic was over. But yeah, I would love to go ick free, but somewhere down the line that would be good. My purple Stylophora, as ever, is growing really well. A few bits broke off. I've actually stuck those in other places. You probably noticed that on some of the video. And they grow really well. Yeah, at least I think they grow. They've got the white tips, haven't they? So all in all, yeah, I'm happy in the direction I'm going. I'm definitely still not where I want to be, but if I can get rid of this blooming iodate, that would be good. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. It's been a long one, so have a good one. Cheers, bye.